Hi, my name is Dan Schessel, and you're watching Off the Shelf Comic Book Reviews. We try to keep as much of this as spoiler-free as possible and as mild-mannered as Clark Kent. So, with all that out of the way, let's just get going with this. This review is for Superior Spider-Man number 6. So, first off, I'd like to say, what the fire truck? I mean, really, I have no idea what they were planning or thinking with this book. And really, all this is doing is putting a Band-Aid on the whole Peter Parker being Spider-Man, not really being Spider-Man issue. You know, like it's a totally weird book. The continuity in this book is so far off and so poorly done. And when I read this book, and if you're reading Age of Ultron and then you read this book, you're just not going to have any idea of what the heck's going on. Plus, aside from that, the previous book doesn't make any sense or line up with the book, what's going on in this book. So, really, I'm quite upset with the way this book is handled, and I think it was poorly done. Now, with all that done and said, the book inside is actually pretty good. The art is actually decent. It seems like Spider-Man kind of glows. His costume kind of glows a little bit. And it's just the way that they've, did the art part of this. But for the most part, it is actually really good to look at. And I really enjoyed it. And the story inside is actually pretty good as a standalone. What they gave us, trying to fix and trying to Band-Aid the situation between, is this really Peter Parker? Is this really Doc Ock? That whole thing, they really messed it up, and it really made it way more confusing. It took me about halfway through the book. I'm probably actually 3/4 of the way through the book before I even realized where this was actually landing in the book. And if you read this week's Age of Ultron, here, this is probably about page 3. It goes right here, this whole book. Between this panel and this panel, that's where it happens, okay? So, again, just totally off, totally unbelievable. I can't believe that they would actually send Peter Parker out in the shape that he's in. If that's, or even, it just, to me, it was horrible. Continuity-wise, it was a terrible book. Continuity-wise. Stories, actually pretty good. I actually had a lot of fun. I thought the way that, the characters in here are portrayed and developed are really well done. And the technology that Peter Parker uses in the book, really, really good. I thought it was, as a whole, I really enjoyed the way the book played out. But in the end, because I read Age of Ultron and I know what's going on, it really threw me off. And because I am reading Superior Spider, it really threw me off again, because what happened in the last book, now if they would have, if I could stop for a second, if they would have just held off on the storyline that they're on, like number 5 of Superior Spider-Man, and just skipped it for this last week and just gave you this book this week, we would not be in a whole world of what the F in this book, right? Like, really, it just didn't make sense with the continuity that we are given. Aside from all of that, still a good book. That's it. That's all I can say. I'm giving this book a 3 out of 5. It was good. It was bad. It just really threw me for a loop. And that was for Superior Spider-Man number 6. So that's it for this episode. Go check out my other reviews. You can click on those and skip ahead. Also, go check out my YouTube page. It's pretty fantastic. Yep. You can do that by clicking down below and subscribing to me. All right, get out of the way. So that's it for this week. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.